their beautiful showroom on Almerton Road. Call Bathmasters at 1-800-MASTERS or visit them at 1-800-MASTERS.com. Bathmasters, the masters of bathroom renovation.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Wesley Financial Group is not an offer. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
It happens more frequently than you'd imagine, and most families are never ready to deal with nursing home abuse. But we are. You know who to call. Call 1-800-BERNETTI. We're ready. Office Painful Lake, Clearwater, Sarasota.
The Medal of Honor is the highest military decoration in the United States. Since it was established in 1861, there have been 3,517 people awarded with the medal. I'm Malcolm Gladwell, and our new podcast from Pushkin Industries and iHeartMedia is about those heroes. Listen to Medal of Honor, Stories of Courage on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Medal of Honor, Stories of Courage.
Sean Hannity coming up today at 3.
Now, more of Glenn Beck on News Radio WFLA.
Some breaking news once again from the New York Times, who, I kid you not, is literally all in on making sure Joe Biden does not have this nomination anymore past this weekend. But they report that Biden told a key ally that he's weighing whether to continue in the race. The president's conversation is the first indication that he is seriously considering whether he can recover after a devastating performance on the debate stage in Atlanta on Thursday. Goes on to talk about whether he knows he has to nail these 3 appearances he has coming up, a couple of campaign rallies, but then also this George Stephanopoulos ABC News interview. It's going to be a great holiday, but an incredibly fascinating weekend.
The Glenn Beck Program.
Tampa Bay weather on demand at WFLAnews.com.
When it comes to protecting those that matter most, you need a home security system you can trust. For 10 years, I've trusted SimpliSafe to protect my home and my family. Advanced security technology and a customer-first approach. SimpliSafe is the only security system I recommend. It's also a system that any DIYer can do. In fact, my son-in-law and I did this ourselves in under an hour. SimpliSafe is backed by 24/7 professional monitoring, guarding your home with sensors and cameras to protect your family. With 24/7 Live Guard, agents act within 5 seconds of receiving an alarm and take immediate actions to protect you. They can even see and speak to intruders inside your home, stopping them in their tracks. SimpliSafe doesn't require a long-term contract. They earn your business every day by keeping you safe. Right now, you can claim an exclusive 20% discount on their new system by going to simplysafe.com/Beck. That's simplysafe.com/Beck. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. The world's biggest banks, especially those of China and Russia, have declared a full-scale attack on the U.S. dollar. They are now dumping dollars and buying record amounts of gold. So what do they know that we don't? Well, they know that our dollar is at a tipping point as the world's reserve currency. Call 800-475-2280 right now. Get 2 free reports from Kevin DeMerit and his team at Lear Capital. De-dollarization and $3,200 gold. They are both essential reads to understand how gold can help you keep your hard-earned money. Since 2020, the dollar has lost 24% of its purchasing power. It's simple for the banks. Get rid of something that's losing value and replace it with something rising in value. Please do the same with Lear Capital. If you want to protect your wealth like the big banks, call the people I trust at Lear Capital. They'll send you a free report and an IRA guide and answer any question. Call them now, 800-475-2280. 800-475. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Coming back to Las Vegas, September 20th and 21st, streaming live only on Hulu.
A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com.
Hey, pool season fanatics, your summer persona is calling. It's time for sun-soaked party scenes at MGM Grand, Rick Advantage at Bellagio, and Sandy Beach Living at Mandalay Bay. Show off your poolside, only with MGM Rewards. Visit MGMRewards.com for details.
This is News Radio, WFLA, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics, streaming on the free iHeart Radio app. News Radio 970 WFLA, Tampa, 97.9 FM, WXTV HD2 Clearwater, home of Glenn Beck. Weekday mornings live at 9.
Good morning, I'm Chris Trenkman. Our top story at 11 o'clock. Cities can't stop people from using their own fireworks on July 4th thanks to Florida law. But one Pinellas County town is trying to regulate the do-it-yourself crowd, at least on the beach. Fireworks are illegal for 3 days a year in Florida. One of them is July 4th.
Just an overwhelmingly increasing volume of personal fireworks going off.
Treasure Island Mayor Tyler Payne says people are using louder and more powerful firecrackers next to beachgoers. Payne says police are ready to hand out tickets for things like leaving debris on the beach, disorienting sea turtles, and throwing missiles. Beachgoers can also chill and watch the city's own fireworks show starting after sunset. Find out more in our Beyond the News podcast. I'm Gordon Bird, News Radio WFLA. Hurricane Beryl continues its onslaught through the Caribbean, and Jamaica is in its sights. The Category 4 storm is packing 145-mile-per-hour winds, and Jamaicans in Tampa, like Andrew Ashmead, are worried about family on the island.
It's heading directly for them. So, like, my sister was saying that, the businesses are closing, like, half a day so they can let the people go home and get some supplies.
Beryl expected to bring damaging wind and flooding. The reward has increased for information leading to the arrest of the shooter responsible for killing a 7-year-old boy a year ago on the 4th of July. Etienne Perez Garcia was visiting his grandparents from New Jersey. He was shot along the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Kelly McLaren of Crime Stopper says the FBI and ATF have added another $5,000 to the reward, for a total of $25,000.
It just takes that one tip that has that crucial detail on it that's going to help the detective solve this case.
Tampa Bay traffic and weather just moments away. I'm Chris Trenkman, News Radio WFLA.
Tampa Bay traffic and weather.
By the Florida Law Group, Florida's Car Accident Lawyers Traffic Center, an accident blocks northbound Keene Road at Druid Road. Also had a crash northbound at Dale Mabry at Waters, and a wreck northbound on Florida at Fletcher. This report is paid for by U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. After Amelia got home from Iraq, she was able to enroll in VA healthcare, and she knows that VA is going to be there for her when she needs it. Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov. Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here. Daisy Ash, News Radio WFLA.
Certainly a steamy one out there. Afternoon high of 93, but heat index around 105 this afternoon. So take it easy, and there will be a round of afternoon and evening downpours as well. About a 50% chance. Of course, those taper off after sunset, and we'll see overnight lows in the upper 70s. For the July 4th holiday, up to 94. Hot, humid day, of course. About a 40% chance of afternoon storms. And for the boaters today, west winds now with the sea breeze at 5 to 10 knots. I'm Max Defender 8 meteorologist, Lee Span.
Hey, it's Ryan.
And Dana.
Join us tomorrow morning on the Ryan Gorman Show at 5.
On News Radio WFLA.
Trying to convince his fellow Democrats he's still got it. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden will meet with Democratic governors today, including Andy Beshear from Kentucky, who tells CNN.
The governors just want a direct and
conversation with the president. We want to make sure he's doing okay. We all know him.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker told CNN none of the governors are asking President Biden to drop out of the race, but he says there are questions that were raised by the debate last week. The president is also expected to reach out to Democratic leaders on Capitol Hill. Texas Democrat Lloyd Doggett became the first member of Congress from the president's party to publicly call on him to step aside.
Fox's Jared Halbert at the White House. President Biden told supporters at a Virginia fundraiser last night he nearly fell asleep on the debate stick, blaming trips to Europe in the weeks before the debate. The president's first and now former press secretary Jen Psaki is going to be questioned in Congress about the 2021 U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan as the Taliban retook control of the country. Psaki will be interviewed by the House Foreign Affairs Committee later this month.
House Republicans have been investigating the U.S.'s chaotic exit from Afghanistan that left 13 service members dead. A source tells Fox News investigators are looking to see if Psaki knowingly made misleading claims or if untrue information was given to her.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Beryl remains a Category 4 hurricane closing in on Jamaica.
And we will start to see the impacts of these ferocious winds, rains, and storm surge as the day goes on.
Fox with the rays in Jamaica. Beryl already hammered other Caribbean islands from Barbados to Grenada to the Grenadines.
Unfortunately, many structures in decimation. We have at least 6 people killed.
There are excessive heat warnings from Washington State down all through California and then from Texas on up to Ohio in some areas. It can feel like over 110 degrees outside. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Dana McKay sitting here with Jeff Jr. of Trajan Wealth. You've helped a lot of people determine how much to put into their 401k and what investments to put it into. Now, you mentioned a big mistake that most people make. What is that?
One of the biggest mistakes people make is leaving their 401k behind when they leave their job. And another big mistake is rolling it into your new 401k.
Really, why is that?
By leaving it behind, you completely lose control. You never want to leave your money with an old employer. And if you roll it into a new 401k, you'll often have limited investment options and may incur costs to do so. Trajan Wealth can help complete the paperwork free of charge and do a tax-free rollover. We can then help invest it according to your exact retirement goals and not just what the employer's offering.
If you've got an old 401k or one that you rolled to a new employer, call Trajan Wealth today at 813-550-1000. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Live on AM, FM, and online worldwide via iHeartRadio.
Now, we bring you Glenn Beck on News Radio WFLA.
Entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
It's not only 4th of July tomorrow, it is Americans' Independence Day. We're going to take you through a few things that I think we should concentrate on, and some really good things about America. One of them is how so many people are coming together. There's an update on Joe Biden we're going to give to you. Just came out, breaking news. But we're in an interesting place, to say the least. What happens from here, it depends on what we do. And we'll talk about that in 60 seconds. First, let me tell you about American financing. It'd be nice to live in a world where your credit card balance wasn't hit with crippling compound interest, but that's not the world we live in. It seems like, the rich get richer, and I mean the powerful corporations, and, banks are bailed out, but are you ever bailed out? If you're up to your eyeballs in debt, especially high interest debt, it can wipe you out. You could lose your home. I mean, you're going through this right now. You know all the things that could happen. May I suggest that you call and see if you can do something with your mortgage to take all of that high interest debt and bring it down and save your home, save your family. All you have to do is call American Financing right now, AmericanFinancing.net, AmericanFinancing.net. The number is 800-906-2440. You're not the only one struggling. There's a lot of people that are struggling really hard right now and are living in fear, and don't live in that fear. To see if they can help you, 800-906-2440, AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 starts at 6.799% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 800-906-2440 for details about credit costs and terms.
So President Biden has agreed to do a sit-down with George Stephanopoulos on Friday, and yet they are still pushing him to step down so they can find another nominee. They've created a huge mess in their own party because they refuse to recognize the obvious, that it's human to start to slip towards the end. And I guess they can't wait until Friday, which says to me that he's in even more trouble than we've even seen, because if he wasn't, he could sit down with George Stephanopoulos and knock it out of the park and it would be over, I think. But somebody, very powerful people, and a lot of Americans want him out of office now after the debate. The White House has just made an announcement, which is...
To be clear, it is a report from the New York Times that Biden told an ally that he is weighing whether to continue in the race. This is the first indication from anywhere inside the Biden camp that this is going on. Now, assuming the Times is telling the truth, which of course is something we definitely have to consider.
Yeah, and you'd have to, if that would have come out 2 weeks ago, it would have been a different story.
Yep.
But now the New York Times is on the exact opposite foot, and they are doing everything they can to get him out. So I don't know if I believe that.
I don't know, because if this is actually an ally, then you would assume this is messaging approved essentially from the White House.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It does give essentially Biden an out here. He's got an interview scheduled with Stephanopoulos, as you point out, on Friday, and 2 campaign stops, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. Those must go well, is essentially the standard they've set for themselves here, which is just really legitimately incredible. To the extent that now we went through a nomination process. Joe Biden won that nomination process. He's participated as the nominee during a presidential debate. This has already occurred. Right now, the favorite to be the Democratic nominee on betting markets is Kamala Harris. She has a 50% chance.
I think that's the only thing they can do.
Joe Biden at 29% is a 29% chance to be the nominee of the party whose primary he's already won. I mean, the fact
how
that
they're going to get around this, I don't. They're talking now about literally speed dating.
Yeah.
A primary election.
Yeah.
So,
Speed dating a primary.
So they. Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll give you. Go ahead. Finish it up.
Yeah. No. I was just going to say, like, Donald Trump strategically has been really, really good at essentially stepping back and letting all this unfold, right? Like, he's been, doing a little truth social stuff, but he has not gotten in the way. He's let all this go. I'm starting to wonder whether he should start to get in the way. Like, I think maybe he should release the vice presidential pick today to distract people from this. You want to keep Biden winning this race.
I think he should just come out and say the one thing that would really make me a dictator is Kamala Harris. She would do it. Anybody other than Joe Biden, I just want to be a dictator.
I think he should be like, my vice president, I'm considering Stormy Daniels. I wouldn't necessarily thought if I could do whatever you can to derail this right now. Or he's going to have to face someone who can...
I'm so torn on this. Yeah, I'm so torn on this because politically the right thing is to keep Joe Biden in for the Republicans, but for the country, this is a horrible situation. He can't step down just from being the candidate. I mean, he really should step down, and it would probably be the best thing for Kamala, because then she would just be the incumbent president. All right, Dave Isay is with us. Dave is a good friend of mine. He does StoryCorps. He is the founder and president. If you don't know StoryCorps, good for you. You probably haven't listened to NPR. They've been featured on NPR forever and ever and ever, and they're not an NPR thing. It's just featured on NPR. Dave is an amazing American. Someday I think I might just have to do a podcast with just him, because of the things that he has seen and done. He's preserved the voices of real people, all of the StoryCorps stuff goes to the National Library or the Library of Congress, and so it's there forever to record the voices and the feelings of people as we live it. He's got an announcement to make on StoryCorps, takeonesmallstep.org. Dave, welcome.
Glenn, what a day.
Can you believe the insanity and people are just going on with their life like, it's what's the problem? No, I'm just worried about getting some hot dogs for tomorrow.
It's rough days ahead. It's crazy time, and I appreciate you having me on because I think what we've been friends for a bunch of years now, and I'm incredibly and kind of unlikely friends, right?
I know.
Did you do a segment a couple weeks ago about Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena?
Oh yeah.
I think. Yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking about that. I feel like together we've been kind of, daring greatly.
Yes, we have.
Crazy.
Well, we both, I don't even know your politics, and I don't need to, Dave, but we both agree on American principles, and we both know our country is in trouble, and we both have faith that the American people, if they can get past the politics, will see reason and see each other again, and we save our country.
Yeah, I mean, that look, we both, exactly, we love our country, like, in ways that we can't even express with words. And, we've both been fortunate enough to have a front row seat on who we are as Americans, and we know that, there's two ways this could go. We can see each other again, or we can, we're going to leave a country that we don't want to leave for our kids and our grandkids, and it will be one of the greatest tragedies in the history of the world. And this is a moment, even in the last 60 seconds, we're in a moment, and it's time to say enough, and it's time to stand up. And as you said, you were, when this idea of one small step, which is people, Americans, everyday Americans from across the political divides, saying enough, talking to each other, getting to know each other as human beings, not talking about politics, and seeing that we have so much more in common that divides us that it's hard to hate up close. This, I came to you and this was kind of a twinkle in our eye. And the Glenn Beck Show has been with us the whole time. We launched, we've tested this for years. We launched locally a bunch of years ago. We've had thousands of Glenn Beck listeners participate. And this is the first call that I've had. We're going to announce this on Monday to the rest of the country. But it's, given the stakes of what's coming up in the country, we are taking this national on Monday. Glenn Beck listeners have always been able to participate, but other than Glenn Beck listeners, it's only been people in a couple of cities around the country, and now the whole country can participate. And we're hoping that thousands, hundreds of thousands of people will come together and see each other as human beings and realize how much we have at stake here in this country if we can't love each other.
I want to bring in Michaela Hedrick. She is the co-writer of my new book, Chasing Embers, and she is 20-something that is she's a 20-something and a good one, and she's actually, you get dicey, Michaela, and you know it. You actually participated in the One Small Step program.
Yes, I did.
Tell me your experience.
I participated twice. The first time I was with a left-leaning mom from Brooklyn who actually works for StoryCorps, and the second time I was with an older gentleman who was afraid to talk to me because he's never voted in his life, and, well, I work for Glenn Beck. But what I found was...
Did he know that in advance?
He did. I put it in my bio, so we knew up front what was going on. But what I found is that we weren't afraid of disagreeing with each other. We were afraid of being misunderstood. We were afraid of being misjudged, and so as soon as we understood together that we were there to hear each other, then we could speak our minds without compromising, but also without fighting.
So, but did you talk about politics?
We did. We talked about, my first discussion discussion, we actually talked about abortion without ever losing our mind.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I was so blown away that we went there, but StoryCorps encourages you to go there in a way that you're not trying to change each other's opinions, but you're trying to see, where are you coming from? Why do you believe what you believe? And at the end of it, I realized, okay, you're not a monster. And she realized, I'm not a monster. And that was my deepest fear, is I was afraid I'd go in and I would be judged for being a hater or a monster. But the way they facilitated it, we had to listen to each other. And that does, you said, Dave, you can't hate up close. You really can't.
Yeah, I tell you, Dave, I mean, the reason why I've been with you on this project from the beginning is I've had hardcore communists who have come into my office before shaking. They were so full of rage and anger towards me. And I've sat there and I just listened to them and I tried to understand where they were coming from. And by the end, we've always walked away. We don't necessarily agree with each other, but we've always walked away going, he's not so bad. You're not so bad. And I'm sorry that I've made you feel this way, or I'm sorry that I misunderstood. He started the conversation with me. I've heard about you. I hear people meet you and then they like you. Well, it's not going to happen to me. And it was an amazing meeting. But if you just stay cool, you find the humanity within each other.
Well, Michaela said it better than I ever could, and you joke about Michaela's a young woman in her 20s. We have biases there also. I mean, she's a great American.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dave. Finally.
You get your due. You've been waiting. But what you get to, this is the core of the problem in the country, and this is what Lincoln said. We'll never be defeated from outside. We can only be defeated from within. The issue isn't that we argue with each other. That's healthy. What's happened in this country is we're living in a reality distortion field, and we can't see each other as human beings. And when you can't see each other as human beings, that's what leads to the Holocaust. That's what leads to Israel-Palestine. We can't go there. We can either throw stones at each other or we can pick up stones and build a better country. And we're at that inflection point, Glenn. And your audience, I've always felt that media put to its highest use can be one of the greatest forces for good the world has ever seen. That almost seems like a joke now, given what,
no, I don't think so.
But it's true. We can create a better country together. And there's too much at stake. We've got to see each other as human beings. We've got to see each other as human beings again. Or all of this, what our parents, what our grandparents bled for and died for, is going to be lost.
So, Dave.